Hi class, this is Neil, and this is the second video in this portion of lesson 2. Remember, we're going to split lesson 2 into 2 separate lessons. Okay, so next we're going to look at what's called the intersection of 2 events. We already looked at it actually. An intersection describes what's shared between 2 events happening. So in a Venn diagram, it's really what overlaps in those 2 circles. So the definition of a intersection is the set of elements in both event sets. And when we look at word problems involving probability, anytime we see the word and, so this and this and that happening, that's going to describe an intersection. The notation we use to describe an intersection is, in words we would say events A and B. With symbols we write A and what looks like a upside down U, B. So that means the intersection of A and B, when it has that little upside down U in between A and B. In a drawing, we kind of already discussed it. It's the area of the 2 circles in a Venn diagram that overlap or intersect, and that's our intersection. So A intersect B. All right, so let's look at this in a practice problem, and then you guys will really just have to do 2 questions for your classwork for today. So for question 1, use the Venn diagram to the right to determine the following. Well, let's look and see what this Venn diagram describes. Well, it describes the people with brown eyes, the people with black hair. What do you think this 3 on the outside represents? Yeah, well, that 3 on the outside is really the complement, people that have neither brown eyes nor black hair. So that's why it's not in the Venn diagram. Okay, so what do you think this 4 in the middle describes? That's right, that's the intersection of people with brown eyes and black hair. So this is describes people that have brown eyes and black hair. Okay, so now that we've started to look at that Venn diagram, maybe some other questions we might be able to ask about this is, how many total people have brown eyes? Well, that's 8 people here plus the 4 people there, so that's 12. How many total people have black hair? Well, that's the 5 people here plus the 4 people in the middle, so that's 9. And now let's get to some of the questions. Okay, question A. How many total people have brown eyes? Well, we just talked about that. What we would do is add together the 8 people that just have brown eyes with the 4 people that have brown eyes and black hair. So that would be 8 plus 4, or 12. Okay, for part B, what is the total number of people surveyed? Well, that's going to include the people that don't have brown eyes or black hair, people just with brown eyes, people that have both brown eyes and black hair, and the people that just have black hair. So here we would just add together 3 plus 8 plus 4 plus 5. And that's going to give us the total people surveyed. So that's 11 and 9, which is 20. So there's 20 total people here. Okay, finally, what is the probability of someone having both brown eyes and black hair? So remember, that word and clues us into we're looking at the intersection of those two events. So that's 4 out of our 20 total people, or 1/5. All right, so for questions 2 and 3, you're going to treat them exactly the same. Right? So for question 2, we're given a Venn diagram. Part A is asking for what's in the intersection. Part B is asking for what is the total probability of A happening. So remember, for that, you'll need to take what's in A and then divide that by the total of everything. So you'd have to add up all the different decimals here. Now, because it's a probability, something to note is if I add 0.4 plus 0.3 plus 0.2 plus 0.1, it's going to give me 1, or 100%. So really all I need to do to determine the probability of A is add together 0.4 and 0.3. For part C, determine the probability, this is of not B, remember. So everything not included in B. And then question 3 is just another Venn diagram interpretation question.